Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Hey guys, it's me, it's Nita, and I'm back for another movie review. The movie that I'm reviewing today is one of my most anticipated movies of 2021, Malcolm and Marie. Written and directed by Sam Levinson, notably from Euphoria and Assassination Nation. The movie is starring just two people. Zendaya, she's known from Disney fame, and then she also was in the MCU's Spider-Man, and she is in HBO's Euphoria. And of course, Mr. John David Washington, aka Denzel Washington's son. He's known for Black Klansman and Tenet. And that's it, y'all. That's it. 1, 2. This movie is classified as a romance and a drama, but personally, I like to take cross romance off. That's just me. This movie clocks in at 1 hour and 46 minutes. The tagline is, "This is a story about love, not a love story." And this is accurate. Fun fact, this is one of the first films to be funded, written, directed, and completed during the pandemic, Miss Rona, in the United States. The synopsis is a director and his girlfriend's relationship is tested when they return from his movie premiere and await critics' responses. And that is all I'm going to tell you about this film, because this is a spoiler-free review. And if you're new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you, and to my Diva Squad, hey, boo. I tell you the pros and cons, what I liked, what I didn't like of the movie, and whether or not you should know or go stream this movie on the Netflix platform, which is currently streaming. So the pros, oh my God, the cinematography. Sam Levinson did that. It was so dope. Like, I mean, classy bass vibes. I mean, the black and white touch just made the movie more impactful than if it was a full in color movie. I enjoyed the black and white of it all. Yes, this movie was so sexy. It was like between Zendaya and in her sexiness, it just exuded off of her, the vibes that she give, down to the actors, to the cinematography, just from the shots, everything just looked so good. This was the best looking movie since 2019's Parasite, and that was a great movie, so you need to check that out as well. The direction was so stylistic. The shots were stunning. The choices of filming the movie like we were a fly on the wall in the house, shooting through the windows as they were in the house, and vice versa, them being outside and the camera is on the inside looking through the windows. It was all just excellent choices. Looking at some of the shots through the reflection of the mirrors was nice. Like, all of that, the wide shots were nice. It always felt like we were peeking in on their conversation, and honestly, I was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's get on. The soundtrack, baby, listen. This soundtrack was hella dope. The soundtrack elevated the material, especially the scene outside on the patio, where John David Washington was first, and then Zendaya came in, and she had on her little tighty whities and a wife beater, and she had just gotten out the bathtub, and he was smoking a cigarette. And I don't think he smokes, but for some reason he was smoking, and she brought that up or whatever, and so she took the cigarette from him, and then he played a song, and then she played a song, and baby, that whole thing, I was here for Miss Dionne Warwick. Get rid of him. Oh no. It was such a vibe. It was a vibe. I loved it. The performances, Zendaya was the standout of this movie. She ate this role up. She was tapping into awards talk, which she has already won the Critics' Choice Awards. Yeah, her range, her emotion, the rawness. It was almost like an elevation from her character from Euphoria. It was almost like an elevation, like we met her maybe 5 years down the line, and here she is. So, because she struggled with addiction and Euphoria, and so a lot of her, even though I've seen these beats from her, these emotional beats, and the addiction and all that stuff, I still felt like it was raw enough to still garner a different platform, because she don't go where she went in this movie in Euphoria. Not yet. Euphoria is only season 1. So yeah, so she blew me away. She blew me away. It was just awesome to experience. This is a 2-person, almost 2-hour film that's about a night, and they have to sell it. And if they don't sell it, the movie won't work. And luckily, they did. The chemistry was on point, but so was that toxicity. Yikes. Which brings me into the flaws or the cons of the film. My biggest problem with the film is the script. Some of the dialogue is it is so, because they have such long monologues sometimes. Sometimes it's just, it's weird. It's like, I don't feel like in an argument that you're gonna go through a whole 5-minute soliloquy. Like, I don't feel like that's a normal conversation. Like, I feel like, I felt like they bounced off each other very, very well. But I just thought it was a little cringy. And let me get to it. So I didn't care for the character of Malcolm. His narcissistic personality just was the worst. It had me on cringe. He crossed some lines for me that he never could come back from. For me. He was gutter. Especially that bathtub scene, baby. Ugh. They had me so in my feelings. I mean, emotional exhaustion by the end of Act 2. Then there was this element of his performance. While most of it I thought it was okay, sometimes I thought he was really hamming it up. And I'm like, are we serious right now? Like, the way he was eating that macaroni and cheese, like, I know y'all heard about the infamous macaroni and cheese. The way he was eating that macaroni and cheese, I was like, wait, what? What are we doing here? He was like so colorful and so animated, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. But sometimes artists and creatives have that kind of crazy side to them, so maybe there's that. Then there's another aspect of Malcolm being a black filmmaker and his grievances on critics. And however, he is a black filmmaker his character is a black filmmaker, but these criticisms are coming from the white gaze. We all know that Sam Levinson is white. So yeah, there's that. So I don't know, just a little bit weird for me. I found the monologues from Malcolm to be a mouthpiece of Sam's grievances on the film critic industry. It felt pretentious, inauthentic, and a little self-indulgent. The rants went on and on and on and on. And Yeah, it was really overkill for me. It became very repetitive. They were in this whole about to be intimate. First of all, you clearly knew that she was annoyed. And, they just kept going through this whole thing with this argument. And, they go through bouts of happiness, and then they go through extreme heaviness, and like they're trying to rip each other apart. And the low blows were gut punching, and it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a little overkill for me. So there's that. So before I give you my overall thoughts and rate the movie, I just want to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me whether or not you were hashtag Team Malcolm or hashtag Team Marie in the comments. Let the diva know what you thought. And tell me why, because that's an interesting part as well. And make sure you follow me on my social media, which is below. So my overall thoughts on Malcolm and Marie, this movie is not going to be for everyone. This movie will be divisive. Some folks will love it, some folks will hate it, and some people will be indifferent about it. But for me, I really liked it a lot. I resonated with Marie's character not being appreciated in a relationship. And I'll just say that. So I say go stream this movie on. If you're ready for a emotional roller coaster of a film, watch it. It's very dialogue heavy. It's very emotionally exhausting. So I just want to temper your expectations for that. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching, especially if you made it to the end of the video, and stay tuned for my diva recommendations. First up is my #1 movie of 2018, A Star is Born, written and directed by Bradley Cooper. Love this movie. You can call this a romance and a drama. Next up is Marriage Story. Came out, it didn't come out in 1995. That's a typo, my bad. And this was a gut-wrenching drama. I didn't see a comedy either in that. And taking it all the way back to 1966 with Elizabeth Taylor doing her thing, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? That's a classic. Check it out. So it rounds out with A Star is Born, Marriage Story, and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. These are my recommendations if you like Malcolm and Marie.